Hello guys, welcome to the Monday forecast. So, beginning of the week. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays are predominantly range-bound days, but let's see if we are getting some moves. So for the first pair, the euro and the US dollar, this one is still stuck between the low and the high. So like I mentioned on my evening forecast on Instagram yesterday, I'm just waiting for the break of the low and the high, or the high. So I did like this push up. I did like this impulse to the upside. It was looking good, but then what happened? So it ended with a huge wick. Let's zoom in a bit. It ended with a huge wick, and this, I would actually count this as an aggressive retrace. There was also a flag which I did stay out of. And yeah, now I'm just expecting this larger range, to be honest. The euro pairs really like to range for a long time between the low and the high, so that is a characteristic. What I would say is be careful what happens at the liquidity areas. So we have one below and one area above, so watch out if we just break and retrace, or if we actually break with some conviction and some large momentum, then I would look for a nice continuation pattern, or maybe a break and retest pattern. Also do look if we maybe ascend into the upper liquidity area and then get a nice reversal down, something like this. Or do look if we maybe descend into the lower liquidity area. So the logic behind this setup is that, well, we are taking out stops, reaching the liquidity area where there is even more stops, and then just breaking and retracing, The market makers are grabbing the liquidity, and then they are ready to reverse the price in the opposite direction. So that is very interesting, and so that is the whole logic behind an ascending or a descending, and why usually we get a nice reversal after that pattern forms. So let's switch over to the euro and the Japanese yen. And out of all of the pairs, this one actually looks promising. So all of the pairs look really range bound. This is the only one that I see a potential setup forming, and the potential setup is actually a reversal from an ascending structure. We are having this sort of ascending channel, as you can see right here. We are ascending, and I do like that we're just breaking the highs, leaving wicks, retracing, breaking the highs, leaving wicks, retracing, again breaking the highs and just retracing. So that is clean. I do like that sort of price action. What I would look for at this point, so I would look for a nice reversal to the downside, and then maybe a nice flag to go short. Or I would look for maybe more of an ascending, and then a reversal down, look for a flag to go short. So definitely I'm looking for a reversal at this point. What I would not like to see is if we get this, so we are getting an ascending, as I said. If we then start to get a descending, and then that would just signal a larger range, to be honest with you. And I would probably stay out of that sort of a setup. One thing we do know about the euro pairs, so we can get an ascending and then a nice impulse to the upside in the same direction. Then do look for a trade. That is also a high probability setup. And yeah, that is about it. So my primary target is to get a nice reversal. But if we do get more of an ascending or a nice push up, I will be also very happy to take a trade. And this price action does look clean. So the prior price action, this was looking very choppy and volatile and with huge wicks, but now we are starting to clean up. So when I say that I want to see a price action start to clean up, this is exactly what I mean, where we get this sort of a cleaner and more sustained move. So that is it for EJ. And now let's take a look at the Aussie pairs. We have the Aussie US dollar. This one, I don't see anything. I mean, I just see volatility. I see wicks right here, wicks right here, and nothing really high probability. As I said, we are getting sort of a V, so do look for maybe a range and then a push up, look for a flag to go long. I would actually expect to get a larger range at this point, because as I said, beginning of the week, usually we are range bound for 1 or 2, maybe even 3 days until we get some nice moves. So I would be a bit more careful, a bit more patient, especially when the price action looks like this. This just looks crappy. Also, be careful about the liquidity areas. Of course, if we just break and retrace, or if we actually break and get some nice momentum to the upside, definitely look out for that. And yeah, look out for a large push up, a nice flag. Look for maybe for a trend to start. Maybe if we get a flag, then we push down, then we get a break and retest, whatever sort of a trend we start to get. And just be prepared, but also be more patient, especially beginning of the week. The market is not showing me any sort of a potential on the Aussie US dollar. Aussie Japanese yen, even worse. It's just stuck in this range, as I mentioned on the evening forecast. So it's just stuck in this sideways large range. That is definitely a bad sign. And we are getting, so we got huge wick up, huge wick down, probably a news candle, and now we are getting a larger range as expected. What I'm expecting actually is to see more of that range, to be honest, and be very, very careful about the liquidity areas on this pair. Do see how we break into them. Do we just break and retrace, or do we actually break and get some nice continuations, get some nice break and retest trades, or maybe some nice flags, whatever sort of a pattern we get. And yeah, if we do get an ascending into the upper liquidity area, I would consider taking it, of course, or a descending and then a reversal to the upside. I would consider taking that sort of a setup, but do keep in mind the reversals don't really tend to work out on this pair. They are not high probability, so if we do get an opportunity for a reversal, it really needs to be clean and the price action needs to look good. Keep that in mind. That's it. Nothing really more to say. I will see you guys in the tomorrow forecast, and let's wait for some moves. Let's wait for the price action to clean up, and I will see you guys tomorrow.